going on, y'all? The reviewer is here, and I'm back to give y'all this album review of K-Rino called Stories from the Black Book. Man, this right here, y'all should know who K-Rino is. If you check out his last album reviews I did, I think I had the Day of the Storm and I think the Maven. I could be wrong, but there's probably some other album reviews I did of him, and I'll put those links of those in the description box. All right. And this is the real deal. Not to mention, this is the original version of this album. Like, this is the very first print of it. So y'all have no idea how long it took to give me this one. So with that being said, let's go through the producers. The only producer on here was K-Rino and Egypt E. And I'll list the features as we go along the tracks. All right. And not to mention, this album came out in 1993, by the way, under Electric City Records. All right, so the first one is just an intro, and he's talking like Dolomite. If y'all know who Dolomite was, you know, that was played by Rudy Moore. May he rest in peace. And it's just funny. It's a funny little intro. The next one is called Step Into the Mind. And this is a really dope track right here by K. And he comes through with some dope verses, man. The first one, he comes through with his hard lyrical capabilities he's known for. And then the second verse, he does the ABC verse type. But it's the way he did it. It's dope, man. So it's a solid beat with some tight lyrics, man. You can't go wrong. The next one is called Tied In. And this is kind of a darker track by K-Rino. He's telling a story about some drug dealers and things like that. The story that he says on there, I'm not going to really say too much on it. Y'all have to peep it out. But it's really dark, man. The next one is called 4 Dimensions of a Universe. This features Gangsta Nip, AC Chill, may he rest in peace, and Dope E. And this is a pretty nice track from these guys. Gangsta Nip, y'all know him. He comes through with that psycho horrorcore verse he known for, you know what I mean? He says something like vehicles getting raped or something. I was like, wow. And then AC Chill comes through with a dope verse. To me, AC Chill was always that underrated artist, man. I ain't gonna get too much in that, but K-Rino comes through with a nice verse, really dope, man. And then Dope E comes through with a nice verse as well. And this is a pretty nice beat with some dope flows. I mean, they go in on this track right here. Then I'm gonna go down to Children of the Concrete. And this track is pretty nice. Again, it's a solid beat with some nice vocals. K-Rino's telling a little story on here about some tragedies that he went through. And again, I'm not going to say what he raps about, but it's a really dope verses that he spits on there. Then the next one, I'm gonna go down to Creator of Life. And this track is pretty solid. I remember hearing this song a long time ago, and I really didn't like it at first, but then when I sat and listened to the lyrics, what he was saying on there is really nice, at least for that time period. The Creator of Life, if y'all know, is the man up above, and he's talking about the things that he went through. K-Rino, he's talking about the things that he went through as a man, and he's trying to like prevent himself from doing bad. The next one is the basketball song, which is pretty funny because he's rapping about basketball and how he's scoring on people and stuff like that. It's a short track. Going to the Clinic is a pretty funny track. He's talking about the women that he messed with and he wind up getting an STD or something. It almost reminds me of that Ice Cube song called, what's that track by Ice Cube? I can't remember the name, but I know it's off of the Death Certificate album. But it almost reminds me of that content. But it's a funny track, man. The lyrics that K-Rino's saying on there is crazy, man. I'll say one part. He said, heard that the crabs themselves done caught gonorrhea or something like that. I mean, it's on some crazy stuff, man. The next one is called Stories from the Black Book. That's the actual name of the title. And this is a pretty nice track from K. And he's telling a little story on people in the streets or in the hood. It's on some sad, but it could be kind of funny too. So almost like a satire type deal. But it's kind of sad too about some people that's not here no longer with us. And he's rapping about that. And then towards the end, he says, and don't become the next chapter of K-Rino's Black Book. The next one is called Death of a Politician. This features Dope E. And this track goes in, man. Like K-Rino just ripping up on this track. It's a pretty good beat. And then Dope E comes through with some dope flows, man. They both got 2 verses each. And they just rapping about getting the politicians that's corrupted in America and things of that nature. Then the next one is called You Created a Monster. This track is pretty solid as well. K coming through with some dope flows. Where he's talking about some violence, he just going in, getting people, you know what I'm saying? Or about to attack someone. Overall, it's a pretty solid track. And I gotta say this track right here, Cartoon Orgy. I honestly think, I don't think he really took it seriously on this track. He just was having fun with it. He's talking about a lot of cartoon characters that's having sex with each other and getting in an orgy or something like that. And it's from that Mariah Carey beat. I can't remember the name of the track, but it's one of her most famous songs. I'll just put it like that. And then the next one is called Slip, which means serving life in prison. After listening to this song, I think the term he says by prison is America. I don't think he means prison literally. So if you hear the lyrics on the song, the beat is pretty nice, by the way. If you listen to the lyrics, he's not talking about prison like jail. I think he's talking about America. So when you hear it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But he goes in though with the verses, man. It just have you in the daze, you know, when he's flowing. Then the next one is called Ultimate Flow. Man, this is a dope track right here from K-Rino, man. He comes through with some dope verses, man. He just come through with his lyrical capabilities that he's known for. And he said, blow torch a a-hole when it's freezing cold. Stage a raid, invade with a blade, made a killer spade till I slay and stray. Something like that. I mean, he rips up on that verse, man. This is probably one of my personal favorites off of the album, man. Ultimate Flow, it speaks 1,000 words, man. The next one is called Choose Your Weapon. And if you hear this beat, it's from one of those tracks back in the day. I think it was Master Ace. The beat goes in and K-Rino comes through with the lyrical flow that he's known for. He just comes through and rips things up, man. And he does a little tongue twist on there too. Like he raps a little fast and he goes off on that track, man. And then the last one is called War in South Park. This features the whole SPC. Track is probably one of my favorites off of the album. It's really dark, man. When you hear it, you know it's about to be some war, man. The way K-Rino starts off on that song, he said 2 o'clock in the daytime, the sky was dark, no joke. The whole group on there, I ain't gonna say the whole group, but SPC, it's a good bit of people on this track, you know what I'm saying? They coming through saying their verses and stuff like that. This right here is probably one of the best tracks easily off of the album, man. That's all the songs that I review off of this album. To rate this out of a 10, I will give this album a solid 8. This was just the start of K-Rino, you know what I'm saying? And this album came out in 1993, so if you listen to this album, you can tell that he wrote it just for that time period or the things that was going on at that time. Not taking anything away from this because I'm a big K-Rino fan, but I think this is just a start before he became the great lyricist that he's known for now. I think this is just him starting up. If you're a big K-Rino fan, you would know what I mean. So I'm saying this to say this. If I say this album here is better than any of his newest albums, then I would feel like it's disrespectful, because the content that he's rapping about on this album is his younger mind, like on some hardcore gangsterism. You know what I mean? Like he's on that type of stuff. So if you listen to this album, then you will know why I say that. Because on that album, he's pretty much mature. And this one right here, he was still full of anger, you know, if that makes sense. With that being said, shout out to K-Rino for a good album. If you're a lyric head, you would definitely appreciate this album. And I'm sure you can listen to this one on the streams. I'm sure it's on there if you never heard this album before. So with that being said, shout out to all the producers. Shout out to all the features that was on this album. All right. Much love to the real folks. And I'll be on here back with another review. All right. Peace out, guys.